and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland. Eyes Wide Shut. I'm your co-host, Denali.
I'm your co-host, Ryan.
I'm your co-host, Jace.
May we have the password, please?
Yes, present the password.
Yeah, you can stand over there with him for just now,
dang it.
and then,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What did he tell you?
Can I get a
before going in?
large number 3 Taco Bell bean burrito? Hold the fire sauce?
and then.
And then, Jesus Christ.
Two side orders Cinna twists.
Oh, right this way, sir. Yeah, certainly.
Wow, your
This
encryption
gentleman
for
will
these.
follow you, take you up to the house.
Thank you.
And you, sir? May I have the password?
Yeah, ditto, brother.
I'm sorry, sir, the password.
Yeah, your guys' encryption is so long. I couldn't fit it on the piece of paper when I was writing it down when Jimmy was telling me about this party. So I got so far I got
Jimmy?
double bean burrito with cheese, extra fire sauce.
Yeah. You mentioned a Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy who told me about this party. He said he has to come to this podcast with earplugs in, so he can't hear all the dirty stuff.
Ah, Jimmy, the piano player.
Yeah, the piano
okay.
player who can't hear.
Wait here, sir. I'll get Jimmy.
Okay, all right, they're getting Jimmy. Great.
Is that your cab?
Yeah, I took it over here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can wait inside it.
No, I mean okay, I'll wait inside my fucking cab. All right.
Sir, you can go up to the house, sir. In fact, here's a margarita.
Oh, shit. You guys gonna kill Jimmy?
He's making a run
before
for
the
it. Get
show?
him! Get him! That guy in the cloak! Get him!
Oh shit!
It's Jimmy. I didn't know where to go with that one. I was
It's
trying.
okay, we got it.
It's
We-
pretty
no,
deep
I think
into
we
the
got
movie.
something.
Like, if we trust people to watch this whole thing.
Yeah, no, I think they'll get it. I think they'll get it. Welcome to our show, folks. We watched Eyes Wide Shut this week. Finally, Ryan, you've been talking about this movie for a while, and you picked it. You want to speak on that?
Not particularly. It's an interesting movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie about a lot of stuff and a lot of things. Basically, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, I don't really want to explain it to you. It's a movie from, I think it came out in 1999, but it was in production for years.
For like 10 years. Like the
what?
filming was insane. Yeah.
Yep. It was actually, I think it was the record for the longest production. Longest continual production in history. Starring Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, and directed by, it's the last film of Stanley Kubrick. Eyes Wide Shut. It's one of my favorite movies. And I don't know why, and I would really not like to have to defend that.
Let's unpack that, Ryan. Let's unpack it, bro. Like, we'll talk about it here. We'll be your two therapists, and we'll talk about why you like this, man.
It's kind of weird. I don't know. This movie's kind of just like, it makes you, I don't know, makes you think a little bit. I think it's a very slow burn, which is another word for boring. And I just kind of like that sort of stuff every once in a while. This movie just hits everything out of the park for me. I think Tom Cruise's performance is my single favorite acting performance in history. And the movie's just an absolute treat and just takes you for a walk. It's a one wild night for old TC.
It is. And I'm picking up on some sexual undertones in this movie for
Really?
sure.
Huh.
Like, I think there's something,
Interesting.
like, this is my theory. Like, I think there's actually, it's about sex. Like, the movie, there's something sexual going on with, like, the things going on. What do you guys think? Did you guys pick up on that, or?
Yeah, it's a weird theory.
I thought it was like a healthcare commentary.
Yeah,
like-
doctors a lot, and
Yeah.
also just how they let people walk around showing their doctor's license everywhere and just gets them places.
I can just
That
print one of
can't
those
be
off.
real.
Yeah,
Jace's is pre-printers. Like,
yeah.
you
They
can't,
didn't have Kinkos back then.
like, okay, I've been working in healthcare for like 10 years. Like, I have never seen a doctor holding a license, like a police badge, and being like, tell me everything about any patient.
Well, what's funny is at first he was just using it as a way to confirm his ID, to show like, look, I'm not lying. Like, this is actually who I am. I'm talking about this. Like, this is actually true. But by the end, he's like, this has worked 15 times in a row. Let's see if they just like let me into a morgue and look at this dead woman.
Yeah, they're like, show me this dead body, dude.
I don't think they let doctors just do that.
No fucking way, dude. And honestly, if a guy showed up and he's like, I'm a doctor, I'm like, yeah, I'm still not like.
Listen, if you want to see the dead body, you got to pay the same $20 as everybody else.
That's right. We got a license at $10.
When that nurse is probably like, oh, don't kiss it. Oh, don't
Yeah,
kiss it.
the nurse is
Dude.
like, you could tell he's like, he's putting his glance like a few degrees away, but he's
averting
not
his eyes.
turning his back entirely because he knows that he needs to step in if it gets really weird.
And Tom Cruise really rides that line in that scene where
Oh my
he's like,
God.
he's getting
Okay,
too
let's
close.
be clear. He rides the line
He
and
rides
crosses it a couple times.
Yes.
But he rides that line the whole movie. That's what the whole movie's about.
Professionally, I would say. I think you should not get within kissing distance of a body if you're not examining it. Like, I think.
Wait, what's kissing distance?
Dude,
Because he didn't touch
yes.
the body, so the body can't move. It's dead. So therefore, everything's kissing distance.
You gotta
think
come
if
the
you could
last 10%.
Yeah.
Tease.
Was that Will Smith's Hitch? Where
Yeah,
it's like
from
I go
Hitch.
90, the body goes 10. This movie is not on streaming, Ryan. I had to get a fucking Criterion account.
Hell
to
yeah,
watch this
you're
thing.
welcome.
And folks
Jace
at home-
obviously had it on Blu-ray.
Wow, Jace.
I just rented it for like $3.
What? You can rent this?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I got a whole ass Criterion account for
It's
this
on
month.
Apple TV as well.
Are you? I have
Apple
that.
Plus.
Fuck me. Okay. Anyways,
You're
I might
welcome.
keep Criterion.
Watch
It's a
all
good-
the
it's a
movies
good-
on
Yeah.
all those old Akira Kurosawa films. Watch. They have like little blurbs on them. It's really good.
The streamer has like a double speed option too, which is nice when you want to get through these movies really quickly. And that's kind of what I watched this on. Like I watched it double speed.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
9-minute long scene of him walking around being followed by the bald man.
Yeah, and it was great. You can get the same experience, and the soundtrack actually sounds just as good. at double speed. Yeah, it's the Rube Goldberg. Yeah, this movie, like, I mean, this has been in the zeitgeist in like my head too, because I've heard about the Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman whole, debacle. Like, we don't got to get deep into that shit.
Have you seen this before?
No, I've never seen this. First watch.
Oh, okay.
I know the lore behind this shit. I've seen certain documentaries about certain organizations that may have talked about their relationship, which I'm not going to bring up here because I can't take that heat. All right,
You're too close.
I don't actually know anything about that drama. What's up with that? You want to talk about it?
I actually think that the only thing you really need to know for purposes of watching and understanding this movie is twofold. That subsequently, Tom Cruise may have joined a cult. And
who's to say? Who's to say what's a cult? What's not?
And first, Tom and Nicole Kidman were married at the time of shooting.
Yes, and
Well, okay. Well, no, we don't need to know anything
From
about
the-
that. That's the third thing. If you had to know 3 things, but we only need to know 2.
and they were okay. You also need to know they were the hottest fucking couple in Hollywood. And I
Oh
think
my God!
You look
Holy
at them,
mackerel!
it's outrageous. Like I forget.
And I think
yeah,
for like one thing to really take into like that always catches me by surprise is how the movie opens. I mean, at this time, Nicole Kidman is like A-list of A-list, and the movie opens with a nude shot of her, and that's like really weird. We wouldn't have that nowadays. Well, you didn't really even have it back then, but like
Right.
the way that they just bring this sort of aromantic, asexual nudity into the frame immediately was really unexpected, I think. And
Yeah, it
even
sets
when
a
you
tone.
even when you know movies about sex, and it's like even a Stanley Kubrick movie, like sure, The Shining was about going crazy, but it didn't open with a shot of Jack Nicholson chopping a body up with an axe. It took a couple hours to get there. And this movie is the exact opposite. It actually becomes like less sexual the longer it goes on.
that's interesting. Yeah. Well, in the beginning too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
Those
were picking.
scenes, flashbacks of the dream were really less sexual as the movie went on.
Did you guys pick up these guys were rich at first? Because I feel like they did like a tricky thing in the beginning. Because like they're in a bathroom that looks kind of shitty, and then they walk out of the bathroom and it just gets richer and richer. And you're like, oh, it's a bigger apartment. And they walk into another like atrium, and it's like an even bigger apartment. And you're like, holy fuck!
That's
and
how
you're
rich
seeing
people
all
live
these,
in New York City. Like those apartments that have more than one room.
Yeah.
Rich.
That's also like his level of rich is. I mean, in the movie, he's depicted as someone who's at the bottom of the rich ladder.
Mhm.
Like he's hanging out with these people who are really fucking rich.
Yeah.
But even an apartment like that, you have to be like making like
A
tens
doctor?
of millions of dollars. Like,
The my favorite theory about this movie, not theory, but like my favorite way to digest what this movie is about, is about that, and the idea that this movie showed up is like its purpose is not so much to like make a commentary about, ooh, look what the rich people are doing. It makes a commentary also about look what poor people are doing, and it provides a vehicle in Tom Cruise of exploring every class in New York City and their perspective on sex, and especially the transactional nature of sex. And you have all these people down here at the bottom. You have even like street prostitutes and escorts and immigrant store owners and stuff. And then you go up into like patrons, then you have, and Johns, and then you have a doctor. But you also have people who attend these crazy sex parties who are rich enough to do so. And then you have people on top of that who are throwing these crazy parties. And so you see, as he goes up the ladder, the pendulum swings back and forth to who's benefiting from and who's exploiting. And it's terrible at both ends of the spectrum. But for some reason, he's just as close to the bottom as he is, to other rich people. Like, he's essentially trash to these super, super uber rich people, and they're willing to kill him.
Yeah, it's kind of wild too. Like when you think about like, okay, like he's a primary care physician, all right. Like any doctor will tell you, like that's like the bottom rung in terms of pay.
Yeah.
Like, and they do a lot of goddamn work, and they don't. And I feel like low key, he's that rich because he's like that house call doctor.
Yeah, his clientele for sure.
Right.
Agreed.
Right. Because I was like, there's no fucking way a doctor's gonna be able to afford something like that, dude. Like, and I, like you said, Ryan, I like Tom Cruise in this movie because I see him as action movie Running Man. He doesn't do shit like this anymore, where he's kind of like on the back foot. People like make fun of him, and he's not like the coolest, most interesting guy sometimes. And like he's kind of vulnerable and kind of low key dealing with like feelings of getting cuckolded by his wife. Like
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like at any one time, you know what he's thinking, and I think that's really great that's a goal that every movie should seek to accomplish. But they usually do it by having someone who's the audience be that person. But Tom Cruise here he's not really the audience, because he's like, this movie's for people like us, and he's making these choices that are like objectively wrong. And so the entire time we know what he's thinking, but then we're disappointed in what he's doing. And that's something that's extremely hard to pull off, that we're not, it's like, why wouldn't you go do this thing? It doesn't make any sense. Like everything he does makes sense, and it's still the wrong choice. That's a really hard line to tread.
He's making some pretty wild choices. Like we've talked about this in The Thing, about like characters who are just not picking up on certain things. Like in this movie, he keeps ending up in these situations, and it kind of goes into like this orgy scene, right, where he shows up to this thing with masks. I would be getting the fuck out of there the moment I walk in. Or if they're even just like, hey, there's a party like kind of up the road in the middle of like an abandoned mansion, and you need like
Here's
a password to
password.
get. Like I'm like, I'm not fucking going. I'm not gonna fucking go to that. Like there's no goddamn way. And even people are like, hey, you're gonna die at this party if you don't leave. And he's like, oh, weird. I'm gonna stay. Like I'm gonna see what's going on. Like I think he's just someone who is just not like aware of danger.
That was an interesting recourse in that scene, like the hey, get out of here or you're gonna die, as if there was any way for him to actually leave that party at all.
You got a taxi waiting outside.
Yeah, and it's a 5-minute drive from the front gate that is staffed by guards through the front door that is staffed by guards to I didn't really understand that, actually. Like why would they even say that? Why even come with the pretense that he could escape when, quite frankly, the like power that they exude after that scene, where it's like, we had you followed, we beat the shit out of the pianist, blah blah blah. It's like I was kind of confused by that.
Yeah, I think you could leave if you went to the front door and you were like, and they were like, we got one guy in here who's not supposed to be here. We really want him to leave. And then he goes to the front door and he's like, you know what? On second thought, I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I actually feel like that guy would be less likely to talk. It's only after he has to be threatened and stuff. Like the threatening him is almost like counterproductive, in my opinion, because like he wouldn't have a reason to tell anybody if there was no like threats being made. Like, go on, like get your kinks off. There's nothing illegal was happening at all.
Yeah.
And
well,
right? I mean, like it's
not that we're aware of.
So like it's kind of funny that he felt so like threatened when I agree. I kind of disagree though. I think he could have left. I think he should have left. Obviously, I don't think he should have done any of this shit. But I think he could have left. I think after the first time someone tells me something bad's gonna happen, I'm like, you know what?
I'm out of there.
I'm outie. I'm at least gonna try.
I really, he wasn't given the opportunity to try because the whole scene took like what seemed like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He got
He's
pulled
always being
aside.
escorted,
She was like,
literally.
leave. He walks into another room. They're like, we need to talk to you. And then she's like, hold on a second. I told you need to leave. And then the next scene was like the guy like, hey, your taxi driver wants to see you. I don't know. It gives me like, hey, trained bodyguards at this super rich estate. Nobody leaves these events until they're over. And if somebody tries to do that, grab them.
I mean, we should probably also explain like how he got there.
We haven't talked about the whole first half of this movie.
We haven't talked fucking movie. We need to talk about this movie. Right.
I think this is a movie where if you tried to recount everything that happened, you'd just spend 3 hours.
I think I can do it in like 45 seconds.
Let's go.
Right, Jace, just do it.
Okay, Tom Cruise and his wife go to a party.
Yeah.
They both hit on separate people. They get
kinda hot. I
home
don't
from
know.
the party. The wife says, "Did you fuck those two?" And he says, "No, of course I didn't. I
Missing a lot
love you."
of context.
And then two models. And then he was like, "What?" And then they smoked some pot. He's like, "The pot's make you aggressive." And she's like, "One time I had a sexual fantasy about some dude." And then Tom laid on some nasty shit about like her being a woman and not having sexual desires.
Well,
which
you
was
got
a
the
little
word messed
fucked
up, but yeah.
And then he's like so mad that he goes into the fugue state that everyone talks about when they talk about this movie, where it's like dreamlike and we don't know what's really happening. And he's really jealous. And then he goes to a house call and the woman there tries to hit on him. Then he walks home and a bunch of people throw a bunch of slurs at him, which was a really weird scene for me. And then a prostitute walks up next to him, and for some reason, in normal, I guess, New York fashion, they walk 10 feet, and then he goes into her apartment with her. Doesn't have sex with her. And then he goes to the bar next door, which is somehow
Jason's
where
getting
his
lost in the
friends-
sauce. It's too much stuff. It's too much stuff.
And his old friend was playing the piano, and he found out
Yes.
about the party, and then he went to the party that we're talking about. And then the rest is kind of like,
Yeah. His
You're
piano
right. There
friend-
is a lot. It seems
there's a
very...
lot. The way his piano friend was talking about it too, where he was just like, "Look, I play jazz piano for this like sex party, and like you won't fucking believe this shit." His first reaction is like, "You gotta let me in, please." Like he doesn't even know about like the mask thing, the disguises. Like he thinks he could just show up to something like this. Like I think that audacity and how down bad Tom Cruise is in this movie, where he's like, "You gotta fucking tell me the password, please."
I've
That's
actually
just some wild shit.
I've heard stories of sex parties like this that people like. So one of the writers on a show used to work for Howard Stern, and then talked about when he was sent to do like a story on a sex party they heard about that was happening, and he said it was just like this. Like there's just like people, and he was the press, so he like showed up and tried to interview people, and they were not having it, and so they made him leave, but they didn't like. Apparently this happens, but they just don't like kill you and stuff. I think it happens. That's what I mean. It's like I think the cooler they are about it, the less likely it's going to come out as some big expose.
What I do think is kind of funny about this movie, though, like we talked about this earlier, the way he shows up in this party, right? It's immediately apparent, because everyone knows it, that he's not supposed to be there. Like he's wearing a mask that looks pretty cheap compared to everyone else's cool ass mask.
I mean, it kind of fits in. It's not like plastic.
I would say the mask.
It fits in.
I think the mask fit in. There was that dude with the, there was some, obviously he didn't have a
Slipknot
hole
mask,
for
like-
eating ass, but
Yeah, a lot of people had the eaten asshole. But like people are looking at him, and then he's also just like walking around like a complete dipshit.
Yeah, he stands
Like, he's-
right by the door and watches everything. They also apparently searched his stuff when he came in because they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And he arrived in a cab, and then when he gets to the house, there's like limos and black cars and everything parked there. And I thought that was pretty apparent. Like I think I would have thought of that.
Yeah, like you got to have some steps in between, dude. And then also like he's not following good like orgy like etiquette. He's walking in these rooms, right? And everyone like there's a room. It's kind of like a wild scene where like a bunch of people having sex and people are just watching, right? And he stands in front of like this group.
Better
on a
door
couch.
than a window, buddy.
Yeah, and people are just like, dude, like get the fuck out of the
They're
way. Like
they're
people
like craning their necks, like.
yeah, like I'm trying to watch, and he's like standing. He's like, "Oh my god, whoa!" And he's like getting really close, and everyone's like, "What is this guy fucking doing? Jesus Christ!"
I wasn't really under the impression. How much time do you think passed at this party?
I think it was pretty real time.
Okay, that's why that's what I'm
it was
like
like 5
confused about.
minutes.
Like, is there? It seems like at any one time there's this show going on, like in the big room,
Yeah.
and then
The
there
c- the
are the
central
extras
show.
that are boinking each other. And I wasn't really clear on whether or not the people from the showroom, like the
Yeah.
elites, were actually participating in the sex.
Yeah, I think most of them weren't. I think
yeah.
it's mostly a voyeurism thing. I think if an escort comes and grabs you and leads you somewhere, that you can do the blinking.
Mm-hmm.
But I think mostly there's the opening ceremony, like in the Olympics,
Yeah.
and then the first day of the Olympics, there's a bunch of games. That happen simultaneously. But then, there's also the ones you're not aware of. Like, you watch TV and you catch, like, track. But at the same time, there's,
The
like,
swimming
all these shooting
qualifiers.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, water polo and stuff that are happening in the background. And unless you go seek those out, I don't think you find them. But then, by the end, there's probably the big marquee event. There's probably the 100-meter dash of, orgying.
Right.
That everybody's like, hey, come on, it's about to start.
If you go like 10 rooms deep, you see a guy fucking a Subway footlong, and you're like, "Wow!" And he's like,
It's a
"No
huge
one's
hit.
here." It's just. It would be awkward to walk in on the one voyeur thing where it's like where you join an Instagram live and you're the only person there.
Would be worse if there's nobody in there, so he's not even banging it yet. And then someone walks in, he's like, "Oh!" And then he grabs the sandwich.
And they're like, "No,
starts,
actually,
and you're like,
I don't."
"Oh no, I'm sorry, wrong room." Aw.
And he's like unwrapping the Subway footlong. He's like, no, I get no. Trust me, no, this will be good. This will be good. It's like it'd be like, what if he goes into like this place and he has like all this stuff built up into his mind, and it's just like a fetish meeting for people who want to fuck the M&Ms in the commercials. Like it's all just like people who dressed up. He's like, I'm the yellow M&M, and it's just like it's like something that's like really really specific that he's not into. I was just like thinking because it's like you don't know what they're gonna do in there.
And he's like, "No, I won't tell anybody I was here. You trust me. I'm not gonna tell anybody that I went to your M&M sex party."
It's
Don't
like he's like,
worry
yeah, I
about
guess
that.
this is like sort of out there, but like not really. Like, why are you guys so secret about the M&M shit? I'm trying to think too. Like, okay, we talked about there's everyone watches couples in this movie, right? Or like when you're in this orgy place, you kind of choose who you want to watch, right? I think that's kind of like the etiquette. Is that how it works? And
I
like,
don't understand. I don't understand the question. I do once.
I'm trying to like.
Mostly,
think
I don't
about the
understand
dynamics.
what you base that opinion on.
Because everyone is like, just like we said, everyone's in a separate room and everyone is choosing the couple they want to watch, right? But like,
What do you think they should do? Wear goggles that point in different directions? Like,
I think it's really awkward, dude. Like, what if nobody wants to watch you?
Well, then you made an
Oh.
easy few $100s. I don't know.
But then like, what people are like, oh, I want to move to the next one. I don't know. I think it's awkward.
I think you'd have. I
you
think
got to get
I think
better at
Nelly-
your craft. You know, it's like
I think
if you don't
performance
make
anxiety
Yeah.
is something that you would probably have to deal with before you got this job.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you set up a stand at a farmer's market because you grew some corn and people don't want to buy your corn. And you don't say, wow, I'm going to stop growing corn. You say,
Right.
I'm going to grow
You get
better
better at-
corn, taste your corn. And next time I get invited to one of these parties,
And,
I'm
and
really
you know
gonna
how
let it rip.
sometimes at the farmer's market there's a sign that says, "Please don't feel obligated to buy anything."
I think it would have been
yeah.
funny if we get back to where the attendant is like, hey, your taxi's waiting for you. And he takes him into the room and then everyone's waiting. They're like, what's the password? You know, we get into the whole second password. But I really think it would be funny if we had like a new age version of this where they're like, get naked. And Tom's like, oh, okay. Shit.
All right.
Takes it off. And they're like,
Wow, chicka, bow, wow! I'm
like-
ready, baby.
do the Dougie. He's like, okay.
The Dougie? Wow, I haven't heard of that in a while.
And the whole room murmurs like it did. Oh, he knows how to do the doggy.
oh my God.
Well,
Please let this guy go.
Maybe we don't have to kill him.
That scene too is so unnerving when they call him back into that room, like you said, because they're like, "Hey, your taxi guy wants to talk to you," and he goes into a room and like it's like 100 masked people all just looking at him. My stomach like dropped, and they're just like it's completely dead silent, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, come over here," and you're just like, "Holy shit! Like what the fuck? What's the password?" And he still tries to go along with it, where he's just like, "I forgot." I feel like if you're that fucked, you should really go for it. You should really try to guess the
Be
password.
like,
or
banana.
and
They're like, fuck.
it was banana. Goddamn. Or he should do a called shot and be like, "There's no password." Like I feel like there is none.
I don't understand
Yeah.
why somebody who set this whole thing up wouldn't give the pianist their own password?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
that would have been like an easier out for me. Be like, we have a second person saying fellatio or
Yeah, Fidelio? Yeah, fellatio is the...
Fidelio is already a pun.
Yeah. It's the password is sex.
Well, that's yeah. Sorry, Denali, but that's a bit in Always Sunny. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep, I know. Once again.
Yeah, I was thinking about this party. It reminds me of like that Adam West sex party story. Did you guys ever hear about that? Like Adam, who like originally played Batman in the '60s, him and Robin. Apparently, there were a lot of celebrity orgies in like the Hollywood Hills. Apparently, they got banned for one because they showed up as Batman and Robin and wouldn't break character the whole time, which is like one of my favorite stories.
That's amazing.
Where he's like, "Come on, Robin, we gotta come on, Robin,
Come on, Robin."
That was a cool scene. Like, I don't know, I like the music. It
Yeah.
was like hazy and kind of wild. It was fun.
The turning point for me in this movie was going from the costume shop to this scene.
There's a lot of foreplay before that. I do know that if you don't know what's gonna happen, you're just kind of like, why is this movie spending an hour setting up? But then the turning point scene, the orgy scene that the rest of the movie spends unpacking, doesn't really take all that long. I mean, it's probably less than 15 minutes. And that's one thing I love about this movie, though, is that like every sentence and every scene serves a purpose. And at the beginning, you're like, why are we watching him do all this stuff? And then by the end, he kind of retraces his steps on the second night, because this movie basically happens within like 72 hours. And by the second night, he's trying to make sense of everything and essentially like solve a crime that he thinks happened, I guess. It kind of turns out like an investigative like murder movie. And by that point, I like the epiphany. There's like 4 or 5 different characters who have an epiphany about sex in the same weekend. And he's one of them. And so then when he retraces his step, having his epiphany about sex, then I think you just see everything in a different light and see how like close he was to dying at any point in his night, not only from the deranged sex party. Death's anywhere for him, and he needs to be careful. And he can't just like let this allure of sex like draw him in, because any one of those things could have killed him.
Him kind of doing like the quote unquote risky stuff in the beginning, where he's kind of aimlessly walking about, right? Like he's not thinking about the typical things people think about before they engage in stuff like that. He's just kind of like going for it all over the place. And then like him retracing everything afterwards. It's almost like the day after the party, where everyone's like kind of hungover and they're like, oh shit, like what did I do? Like, what was going on here? The aftermath. He's trying to figure out what the fuck happened to the person who saved him, right? One of the sex workers was like, hey, don't kill him, take me. And he's just like, okay. And he's trying to figure out who that is, like what the deal is. Fun fact, I think Cate Blanchett did the dub for that scene.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Because
I didn't know that.
Apparently the actual actress, she was like, they wanted to do like an American accent, and the actress is British, and she was like, I don't think I could pull that off. Even though Cate Blanchett's British.
American?
She's British, but she could do a good American accent.
Oh,
So
really
they had
weird.
to do it.
A lot of this was shot in London,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I read that.
In this movie, though, he gets like gaslit from like his Dr. Ziegler or whatever the fuck, like his patron, about none of this shit even being real, or like none of this shit being like
It was a
of dangerous
facade,
kind of,
right? Like the threats and everything and all the ceremony. We don't normally do that. It was just to scare you.
Which could be
We just
true.
bang. Yeah.
You got to choose your side,
Like it's not clear in the movie what actually happened that night, like because he finds out the person who saved him, allegedly, saved him. She died of a drug overdose, which you see happen earlier in the movie. Like she had a drug overdose. He saved her from that. And she has another one, and you're kind of like, did they do something to her? Like, did this happen? You're not really sure. And I think the fact that they don't explain it kind of makes it stronger, because it's kind of realistic, where sometimes you just don't know what the fuck you just saw. I don't know. You guys think that shit was real?
Do I think they murdered her?
You think that's like a fucked up, like actual, like fucked up?
I don't know. I think
Club.
we, in the past, like 6 years, have been inundated with weird criminalistic sex party type shit that goes on. And I kind of leaned more into the commentary on that. Like, that maybe she was there working it as an escort, but you don't know anything about the age or the consent of the rest of those people working at the party. So it's like well within the realm of possibility that both times she used too much drugs, it was maybe Ziegler's fault.
That's my
And
too, is that maybe she was using drugs as a coping mechanism too for her terrible night, and that can certainly happen, and you don't always have a doctor around, so
Yeah, that's like one possibility. And then also like the piano player, right?
yeah.
And it's like a really funny scene with the hotel concierge character. I think Alan Cumming,
Oh,
who
yeah,
like
I
sells
really
it
like
in
him.
such a funny way.
he's one of my favorite characters.
Was it a coincidence that you mentioned Son of the Mask that he plays in before Ryan picked this movie? That
fuck?
also
Wait, was he
stars him?
Complete coincidence.
How do you know he's in Son of the Mask?
We're actually sneakily doing an Alan Cummings season. Good
Yeah,
on you,
I
Jace,
guess.
for finally picking up 9 movies in. He's been in all the other movies.
We're watching Traders right now, or Yuri's watching Traders, and I'm sidebar
nice.
watching Traders, which she's also the host for. So
Is he the baby in Son of the Mask?
no, he's a Loki. He's like an adult.
Oh shit, he's Loki in that movie?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I thought you guys were pulling one over on me. I mean, I followed a thread through the internet. Obviously, I didn't just know this, but
You did all this lore. But Alan Cumming in this movie, because Tom Cruise is kind of like, hey, what happened to the piano player? And he's just kind of like, oh yeah, there was this one weird thing with that guy. Yeah, he had a bruise on his face. 2 guys came down. He tried to slip me a note, and then they slapped the note out of his hand and pulled him away and shoved him in a car. And they said he was going home. And Tom Cruise is like, okay, yeah, like I'm freaking the fuck out now. Like,
This is something that I really enjoy watching through multiple rewatches, is like what's going through Tom's brain in any one scene after he has the revelation that women like sex, and that if they see someone that they want to throw away their life and have a complete fling with, they're so infatuated with for no reason. Like, he's constantly doing the math about whether or not he's currently in one of those situations. And he gets to this hotel, and there's a guy, Alan Cummings, who's the hotel clerk, and Tom just goes up to the desk and instantly asks for information. And it's obvious that Alan Cummings is going through one of those situations. And you're just like, buddy, no, like we just need information. We don't need this sexualization stuff. And Tom is like, he's had this epiphany literally like 24 hours ago, and he's already tired of it. He's already like, just stop. Like, I'm not going to have sex with you. Just tell me the information. And it's so funny to see Tom go from clueless about this to going on this entire odyssey of exploration about the idea to, I'm sick of that idea. I want to know what happened to my friend. And that journey is just hilarious. And I think this character is completely unnecessary from a plot perspective, but completely necessary from a character perspective.
you know how ridiculous it sounds to me if I were to tell both of you that, like, I'm going to talk about a guest who's been on our podcast before, Ian, who was a friend of ours in high school. How ridiculous it would be if I was like, I saw Ian for the first time in 10 years and I got him killed, guys. It's just like...
Yeah, he really like dismisses that, I think, too. Like at the we won't need to jump to the end yet, but like there at the end he's kind of like, oh, thank God, nothing bad happened. Yeah, that part was fucked. This is also to bring back what like Ryan said. Like I think this is the best Tom Cruise has looked. Like, I think his, like, look in this movie with, like, the jackets, I think his attitude in this movie is, like, really cool. It's not big like he usually does. It's kind of, like, really restrained. I think it's cool. Like, I like the rich sweaters Tom Cruise in this movie.
I think my favorite line of his in the entire movie is a really stupid line for this. And it's when he says, I happen to be a doctor. And it's just like this. He's not throwing it in his wife's face. He's even like, yes, I see titties all the time. Is what he's saying. Yeah. But there's all this like subtext in what he means when he says that. And I think that's so cool. The way that he's able to be like, the titties I see are clinical. I don't. Yeah. And she's scared. She's not even thinking about sex because she's at the doctor. She's worried that she has a health concern. And he believes what he's saying, which is the most important part. Is he's not lying. He actually believes that there's really nothing going on here. It's not a big deal. The way he wraps all that into, I happen to be a doctor. And I just know. I don't know. I really like things like that where these normal lines are really like convincingly delivered and they tell you about the character.
He does good in this. Well, it's also like a Stanley Kubrick thing. You guys probably know this about Kubrick, where he does like 1 million takes.
A trillion, yeah.
of,
Until
like,
the actors
the
are so
same.
beat down that I mean, at first he was probably like, "Oh, I happen to be a doctor, man, and I get over the titties."
Yeah.
And then by the end, he's just like, "I just want to go to bed."
And you feel it in the movie. Like, I think there was like one scene where they said he like walked through a door 95 times because he wanted to get the right, like, exasperated Tom walking through a door. Kind of abusive as a director to do that to your actors. I'm trying to think, like, it kind of builds up to the meeting with Ziegler, doesn't it? Where Tom's getting followed, and he meets with Ziegler, who's like the guy whose party he was at. This is kind of the guy who's plugged into all this shit. And Ziegler, they kind of stretch things in this movie where they're kind of like, hey, I have something to tell you. Well, I don't know how to tell you. And you're kind of just like waiting what he's going to say. And you know what he's going to say. And it's like, I think the tension in this scene's really good. But Ziegler's basically like, yo, don't worry about this shit. Just fuck off somewhere. Like, it's like, don't stop worrying. I had you followed, yes. But this is just like a party for really big names. You don't need to worry about this. This is all fake. Go back to your life. And like, Tom Cruise just can't let it go.
I think that scene's great. I hate it. It's my least favorite scene in the movie, and it's still great. I think that it's completely necessary, and the reason I don't like it is because normally in movies, conversations are quick and snappy. And this movie has the opposite of the Gilmore Girls problem, where in the Gilmore Girls, they talk a mile a minute, and everybody has the perfect response immediately. In this movie, it's they talk like this. And they take really elaborate pauses to think about what they're going to say. And they're careful not to step on other people's toes. And that's very natural. But it also takes so long. But by the end, I'm actually interested in what Ziegler has to say. I want to know his explanation of what's going on. And ultimately, his explanation is not satisfactory. It's not satisfactory to me, and it's not satisfactory to Tom Cruise. And I think in a lesser movie, Tom would walk out and be like, oh, okay, I guess nothing really weird happened at all. But in this movie, he's like, I didn't buy that for a fucking second. Which I'm thinking the whole time, too.
Yeah, this movie is kind of like edging the movie, where it's like, it kind of builds
He
you
never
this whole
gets
time.
one.
He never gets, and like, you as the audience don't get shit, dude. Like, you get edged all the way up to the edge, right? You see all this shit happening, you see all these like clues, and you're like, this big reveal scene, you're like, oh yeah, here we go. And the guy's like, nah, and he fucking denies you. And you actually, like, there's no satisfaction in this movie, and it just fucking ends without you really getting complete closure about what the fuck just happened, just like what happened to Tom Cruise's character.
We should fuck.
Yeah,
that's.
I love the end of this movie.
That's
I really
the end
hate
line.
her affect every time she says the word fuck. Quite frankly,
She's
She really
Australian.
emphasizes every letter in the word somehow. Like
I heard the accent slip a couple times. She's great in this movie, but it did slip a couple times. Yeah,
I think that's probably a product of making someone do 95 takes so that it becomes as like natural as possible. Is if they're not from America, they're gonna like revert to their normal accent.
How do Australians say that word? Fack.
Yeah, it's probably A.
The mask on the bed. What do you guys think of that?
I like it.
I read a comment. I was browsing through some Reddit threads before this, and somebody was like, she probably just found it and put it on his pillow because she wanted some answers. And the reply to that was, "You're taking this movie too literally." And I was like,
Fuck you.
I was like, I hate this movie.
Yeah. That's exactly why she put the mask on. It's like it's obvious that she found it when it was like in the cupboard, but I think there's nothing to read into that.
I thought
It's
my actual read until Amber we discussed after the movie was someone broke in from the party and put the mask on the bed as a warning to be like, look, we can get to your wife and we can get inside your house and we know.
How
where
did
you're
they
at."
know
She's a
where
heavy
the mask
sleeper,
was or
too.
how they had keys?
Yeah. I thought he lost it like at the party or something because you don't know what happened to the mask. And he's just like, oh, I don't have it. And I really think maybe it was at the party when they had him take the mask off. So maybe he left it there and maybe they just broke in because they know like fucking assassins and shit. Like to me, because they don't really explain.
I have never thought about that.
Yeah.
I have
That was
never considered that.
I thought it was a strong arm. Yeah.
his freak out, which could have gone either way. You know, he starts sobbing and he's like, "Oh my god!" And Natalie Portman wakes up and she's like, "What?" Or not Natalie Portman, Nicole Kidman wakes up and she's like, "What the fuck?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'll tell you everything." And like, yes, it could have been, I think, more likely that she found the mask. But my initial read, until Amber said something else, was that someone from the party broke in and threatened him.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, fucking angry I would be if I found that they're already in this tenuous relationship. Like, you think why would she be sleeping peacefully next to this mask? I would have been so pissed off if I was like in this situation.
It's also 4 a.m. He's out all night, every night. So I think at some point she's like, fuck this, I'm going to go to bed.
She is like a stone cold operator if she could just go to sleep after that. And she's like, I'm going to fucking wake, like, he's going to wake me up and I'm going to have his ass, like,
hey,
I'm going to
honey.
sleep soundly. Like,
oh, what'd you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. And I think at the end of the movie, they kind of they reconcile, right? They're kind of like, hey, we got a good thing going here. Maybe we should just let bygones be bygones and focus on each other, be grateful for each other and shit. But like, dude, if I was Tom Cruise, I'd have to move out of the country. Like, I'd be so fucking freaked out. If you go through all that shit and you think someone might have been assassinated and you think your friend also might have been assassinated and I don't know. I wouldn't be comfortable. I would move.
Yeah, but you're also not the kind of person who would make any of the choices that he made.
That's true.
You know, like, you wouldn't get into this situation in the first place because you wouldn't go to an undercover night sex orgy on a whim. And, I guess I don't know. You have a cape.
I am wearing a cape. And it's hard for me to believe, even someone as a doctor who really has to think, like, really systematically and critically and carefully, allegedly, that he would just be kind of like, oh, it's probably fine. I don't know. It's probably not going to fuck with me ever again, even though they had me followed and all this other shit.
Well, he got his assurance from his friend. His friend said,
"Oh yeah,
you know, just drop it and let bygones be bygones."
Pretty nice.
What the
out.
fuck is a bygone? But okay,
your dude that kind of owes you, you know, because you helped a sex worker at his party, not OD. You know, kind of be like, listen, man, just drop it. I'm kind of disappointed Tom wasn't like, can I come to the next one?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna go back, dude.
Quite frankly, I didn't know we were at in this movie. I was like sitting on the couch, I was like, ah. And like I hit up on the remote, and it was like 4 minutes left. You know, after that conversation, and we're headed right towards the end. I was a little disappointed, you know, because like talking about Kubrick films, Full Metal Jacket, The Shining, 2001: A Space Odyssey, he was like, yeah, I'm just going to make a movie about a guy going to a sex party.
You think Ziegler at the end should have been like, hey, see you at the next one. Roll credits, boom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been cool.
Could you imagine, though? He shows up to the next one, and they're like, are you kidding me? Like, we did all this shit.
Fucking guy.
Like, are you fucking serious? Like, did nothing sink in?
Oh, like, also, like, what's that mansion doing there?
Hell yeah.
Can you not just go to like a local property place and be like, hey, who owns this property? They said the party location changes every time.
Yeah, he should have just flashed his doctor badge and they would tell him.
Hey, who lives here? Oh,
oh shit, he's a doctor.
Billionaire Mr. Jones? Like, I guess I don't.
There are a lot of like rich as fuck people though who just have shit like that. That's just like empty.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like that's some old money East Coast shit too, where it's just like it's shit that you can't even fucking fathom, right? And I think that's part of like what makes it so creepy too, where you're just like, I don't even know what they're capable of, what their connections are, like what the deal is here. And he even rolls up to that mansion after the fact, and they're waiting for him. They're like, hey, here's a note for you. We're waiting for this. And he opens it, and they're like,
that's probably one of my top 5 favorite scenes in like any movie ever. The music is perfect. I think I don't think there's been a better score really ever because it tracks what he's doing, not what the audience is seeing, and it culminates in this reveal that they know his name. And he's kind of the second day he's kind of walking around with impunity. He's walking around from place to place going, oh yeah, I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm a cool detective. He rolls up to the gate and kind of strong arms the security camera. And then this car comes down the driveway and an old ass frail man gets out, looks him dead in the eyes, and hands him a card that has his name on it. And he's like, oh shit. Like, I really should not have been doing that. They know they got me. And
no gift card either. Like it was just a note, dude. Like nothing, no check or anything.
They knew he was coming back too. They fucking called his bluff. The shot is gorgeous. It's a shot of Tom Cruise in the midground, and this movie uses a lot of midground. So the subject is often in between two different things. Like there's a foreground, meaning closer to the camera, and a background farther away from the camera, and the subject is in the middle. A lot of movies, when they do a telephoto profile or something, they'll put the subject in the foreground and have everything be background. This movie will put stuff there. In this shot, in the scene, there's a gate. So you see the gate is the closest thing to the camera. And so the camera is almost always on the other side of the gate from whoever it's looking at. But if it's looking at the old man, it's on Tom's side. It's looking at Tom's on the old man's side. And that shot is just gorgeously composed. And I believe the music strikes the key piano note when he looks at the envelope, not when the camera pans to it. And that's a good distinction, I think, from like a John Carpenter sort of thing where the camera would switch and then the piano note would happen instantly. The Kubrick version of that is where the character looks at it and the piano note strikes. And I think that's it's a nice way to tell a story. And it's also a nice way to tell us where the suspense is. The suspense is never something that's going to happen on camera. The suspense is something that the character's going through.
That's cool. I like the soundtrack in this movie, and the timing of the shit was really good. It's totally stupid, but like, there's a theater in LA where they play like old silent movies, and there's a guy who plays like an organ like live, like they do in the old days, like doing the soundtrack, like improvised, where it's like dun 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 dun, and I'm like thinking about this movie, like, because the soundtrack was so on point, like a guy with a piano just trying to be like dun 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 dun. Like, I just think that job is so fucking funny. And like, I've read interviews with this dude where he's just like, yeah, I just like see what the vibe is, and I just jam for like an hour and a half on my fucking organ every night. Just a new ass thing. I don't know, I think that's fucking cool. You want to talk about meters?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ryan, this was your movie, dog.
Oh shit.
Are we?
Yeah.
What are we?
What's the meter? What's the meter here? What scale? What grouping does this go into? Is this an orgy movie?
Orgy season?
Or, like I said, is it a holiday horror movie?
Fuck. It takes place at Christmas.
It does.
Yeah?
Lots of Christmas lights, very pretty.
I like that vibe.
Yeah. There's also like
Horror, though?
there's dead people. There's like quasi jump scares.
We could do a spiritometer. Fuck it.
Okay, yeah. Also a holiday horrorometer. It's really hard to put this movie in a box. So I think on any movie it would pop up at like a 7 or 8 if you even put on an eyes wide shut meter, because the movie always kind of like, it never goes.
It's its own movie.
Yeah, I know, it never goes like fully in. It tries to like reel back always and kind of like undercut your expectations of what a stereotypical movie tackling this experience would be like. So on a other movie meter, if I'm gonna rate it on like what you'd be expecting from like a holiday horror movie, it's probably like a 3 or a 4, man. It doesn't fit a lot of tropes. And we've talked about that, I think, for a few hours now. But it doesn't fit a lot of tropes. That's my score.
Yeah, Ryan. I'm pulling out my dusty candy cane holiday horror meter here, and I'm looking at it, and I don't even see a single stripe on this thing, dude. I'm gonna give it like a 1. All right, yeah, it takes place on Christmas. Big whoop. No fucking Santa Claus, no Frosty the Snowman, no Rudolph. It's all just stupid ass lights. All right, I can't even tell if this is really in Christmas. No Christmas songs. This is not horror. Okay, there's not like one of the masked orgy people chasing him in the street trying to stab him.
Well, that actually almost happens, but they walk slowly.
It's he ominously walks up to him and asks him to go to a room where he might have been stabbed.
No, I mean on the street.
Oh, that guy wasn't masked though. Anyway, this is my meter, Ryan. It's not a horror movie. It's barely a Christmas movie. It's gonna be a 1. If it was an orgometer too, I would also give it kind of low, because I heard they cut out a ton of shit in this movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Give us the
There was
25
the initial
minutes.
scene. It was 20. Because there's an NC-17 cut of this movie where they actually show way more stuff. All right, they do show male frontal, which was missing in this movie. It was kind of weird that it was missing too, where it was kind of like male gazy, to be honest. But I guess there was a lot more in the uncut version, which I think you can still get on Blu-ray. Maybe worth a second watch. Orgometer's gonna be really low as well. Sorry.
Wow.
You can do an orgometer if you want, Jace. Sorry, I took up too much time.
My orgometer is low. My holiday horror meter, I didn't even think about considering it on that scale. So,
Come on, Jace. It's your meter. You made the meter.
Yes. I'll give it a 1.
Talk about edging.
Sorry, the edgeometer.
Yeah, the
This
edgeometer. Holy shit, this movie's edge.
Movie gets a
Oh, please.
No.
No. Say the fucking number, please.
Next
Just
meter.
change the subject. Oh, fuck. Denied.
Well, boys,
7.
might have to smoke a cigarette after that one. Go ahead. Are you actually
I
going
was
to
gonna. Oh,
you
no.
gonna
I
talk
was
about
gonna
You got
ask you
more,
a question.
Jace?
Your comment about I have to smoke a cigarette after that one. I feel like there was a lot. I would expect more cigarette smoking in this movie than there like for the time frame, and there really wasn't. We got like I can't even actually recall.
I think
much
it might be because it was
besides the
filmed in
marijuana.
London.
Yeah. Kidman was she lit a couple up. There was a lot of coffees ordered. Tom Cruise ordered like 7 coffees.
So many
in this
coffee
movie.
shops.
I think he's normally not out at night. And he's like,
Yeah.
I am really struggling here,
Yeah,
folks.
fucking coffee, dude. Jesus. What do you think about this movie, Ryan? What's your movie meter?
My movie
do you
meter-
Like this movie?
This is up there, guys. This is number 2 on my letterbox like top movies.
Oh.
So I think it's clear I'm gonna give this a 10, but if it's not clear why, it's almost like this movie's almost like not about sex. As stupid as that sounds, especially the first time you watch it, you see like the acts of sex everywhere, but it's like it's about the idea of marriage and like what that means. And a lot of the answers to questions in this are literally on screen given as because I'm married. And the idea of fidelity and infidelity and fidelio is that like we can't do things that maybe people in this movie are like kind of want to do, but also there's more self-introspection than that. Obviously, it's not just like, oh, being married sucks. I think that the intro to this movie, the first like few minutes is the best. It's the most like tightly packed, and the idea that their first few moments shown on screen are in this apartment with a dirty bathroom, and they're sharing a space, and Nicole Kidman's going to the bathroom in the same shot as Tom Cruise like fixing his hair in the mirror, is that like their relationship with each other is aromantic at that point. Like they're not, she's doing this thing that's so closely related to sex but isn't. She's naked, and yet they're not even associating it with sex at all. Whereas later, if you get something that's like kind of tangentially related to sex in the smallest way, he's like, whoa! But when it's his wife, it has to explicitly be only about sex before he considers that it's about sex. And that the idea that he took kind of the sexuality of women for granted, or at least he was mistaken about it, that the rest of the 2 days was him going through a kind of a self journey about what ways he was wrong about his life, whether it's like the patients who walk in to his practice or the women he meets on the street, or even at a party. Like, what are they thinking when they're talking to him? I think that's a really interesting conversation. And this movie approaches it in a surprisingly mature way for one that's about orgies and stuff. Like, nowadays, post-Marvel, this movie would have so many more, like, one-liners and, like, ooh la la, and, like, funny sound effects and stuff. Whereas this movie just, like, is saturated. Everything is aesthetic as hell. Like I talked about, like, I like the way it's shot. We see the back of him when he's walking somewhere half the time, which is like great. Watch a modern movie and see how often you see like the main character's back.
I've never seen Tom Cruise's back. I've never seen the back of his head ever.
Like in this movie, they show him going places, and I really like that. I like that perspective of it. One tiny little thing that I love in this movie, probably more than I love almost anything in any movie ever. The orgy has a slow dancing room.
Wait, what? Wait.
The orgy has a room that's just people slow dancing.
I remember, yeah.
I missed that. Wait.
No, he
are they
walks
naked?
through the room. There's like a,
Yeah.
it's on screen for like 45 seconds.
Oh, wait, you're right. They're all clothed.
No, there's some naked people.
There were two dudes dancing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that just like a foreplay room where they're just they do the dancing?
No, I
first?
think
Or is it
it's just
after,
for people
maybe?
who want to do that. And like it's completely, it's almost like that famous YouTube video of the people passing the basketball back and forth, and then a gorilla like walks through the shot,
yeah.
and then it's like, did you notice the gorilla? That's what that shot does, and I think that it's buried so seamlessly in the movie is just a credit to how like expansive and how natural this movie is. I like it. It's not for everybody, but I like it. So there we go.
Yeah, this movie, I agree, Ryan, about your commentary. Like, this movie is more about, to me, relationships, boundaries, some sexuality, of course, and class. Like, I think this is a really big class movie. and that exploration. I think that's why a lot of people are attracted to this movie. This movie is also talked about a lot in conspiracy circles for obvious reasons. This movie, I think, is more for me. Like, I've talked about what Denali movies are. I agree, Ryan. Like, I actually really enjoyed this movie. We reviewed a movie called Bram Stoker's Dracula back in the Keanu season. I think I was the only champion of that movie, where it was dreamlike, it was vibey, the soundtrack, the visuals and shit. Like, this movie kind of reminds me of that. It even has like that not really latent eroticism, but it's kind of like it's all over the movie. I like movies that feel like you're in kind of a haze and you're not sure whether you can trust like the narrator or what's really happening. I liked the acting in this movie. The lights, all the lighting in this movie is fucking cool. Like all the blue and all the hazy shit, the filters that they used. It was like a sumptuous movie, dude. And I think the biggest credit we can give is that like Amber and I started this movie at around like 11 p.m. and we were kind of like, okay, we're just gonna watch like half maybe and like do the rest next day. But we ended up watching the whole thing that night. We finished like a 2-hour 45-minute movie because we were really interested in it. We really enjoyed it. I fucked with this movie. I don't think it's perfect. I do think there are some unresolved things, even plot-wise, that I think could have made it, I think, a little more compelling. And when this movie came out, it was controversial as fuck. People either loved it or hated it. For me, I'm going to give it a 9. I really think they nailed what they wanted to do in this movie. I'd watch it again.
I appreciate hearing both your perspectives on it. I'm going to come out, I'm going to give it like a 5. I didn't really enjoy it. It gives me, before reading about it after the watch, it kind of gives presumptuous movie a la English class, where you read a book that was written 300 years ago that the author just wrote, and your English teacher is like, look for the hidden meanings. But it's a Kubrick film, so it does actually have those things. And I guess I thought it was kind of boring. The thriller aspect of it didn't hit for me. Yeah, I don't know. I liked the vibe. I liked that it was I liked that it was around Christmas. I liked the sets. I thought it was pretty visually stunning. And it might just attribute itself to like you said, I might not have invested myself enough for where the movie was going and what it's trying to do. So it left like it's too long for me to ever want to probably rewatch.
It's long as fuck.
But
like,
but I could see that like on a rewatch and on like taking a movie seriously, I can see why people like really love it.
Yeah, different strokes, some might say.
Yeah, there were a lot in that orgy.
Yeah. This is not like a midday Sunday watch, folks.
No.
Like, this is not, you got to watch this shit at night. You got to be dialed in.
Yeah.
A slow burn, it sucks if you're not like, yeah. I remember even, I don't remember, but reading like critics' reviews too. Like, a lot of critics did not like this movie. They thought it was straight up bad. And
I liked how
Kubrick
adult
liked
it was.
what he did. Yeah.
You mean like that everything's mature and you're treated like an adult when you're watching it?
People fucking it.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, obviously he made a decision to like, show nudity, have sex forefront throughout the film, and they stuck with it. And like the fact that whoever it was decided that it needed to be pared down, there's
After
one
he
thing now.
died.
Yeah.
I mean, Kubrick was like, hey, if you guys need to pare this shit down, you guys can. Like,
Yeah.
I remember reading that note where he was like, you guys can like put like a
In
pot,
fact-
like
in fact,
digitally put a
For
pot
that
in
last
front of
5
like
minutes,
the dick or
there wasn't even any tape in the camera.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, it could have been like American Pie, where they have like these sex things, they don't take it seriously, or they kind of do it in a way that's kind of like, ooh, like, isn't this scandalous?
Yeah.
Ooh, and like you said, they take it seriously. But yeah, that's Eyes Wide Shut. All right, does it deserve a sequel, folks? Maybe let us know. All right?
Yeah,
Should we
Eyes
bring
Wide
back-
Shut 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, he goes back and he's like 60 years old.
Eyes wide
He's one
shut,
of the-
mouth closed open.
Is the opposite of eyes, ears. Anyways, let us know what you think about this movie. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let us know what you think about our review of this movie. Do you like it?
Probably not.
Do you not like it? Do you not like our review of this movie? Keep that to yourself.
Do you have a
Right.
wife that also explains her dreams in incredible detail with no seemingly direction and where it's going? Let us know.
I can't imagine Ryan watching this movie with Julie. I just like, honestly, I saw the first nudity scene and I was like, Yuri was in the bathroom. I was like, Yuri, there's already a naked woman. This is gonna be an awkward one. And then we completely even out our ratio of movies to boobs within one film.
Yeah. But Denali, do you remember the first time I watched this movie?
Do I remember?
Yeah.
Was I involved at all?
Kinda.
I don't know. Okay.
It was not quite 10 years ago. So this is actually one of the newest additions to my list. I found this movie when I was probably in my, early mid-20s maybe.
Was I under the couch or something? How the fuck did I not see it? But you.
So I was watching this and I was live texting you
Okay.
my reactions because Julie was out of town and I was in town alone and I watched it by myself. And I was like, I can't just sit here and watch this. If I tell somebody I watched this when Julie was gone, people are going to think I was just like the whole time.
Right, yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to text Denali. This is my way out. I'm going to text Denali. And something was going on with you where you were sick or you had just gone to the dentist or something. And Amber was texting for you. And I didn't know until about like 3/4 of the way through the movie. And I was talking about like how horny this movie was and how I'm home alone. And then eventually she was like, yeah, by the way, this is Amber. Denali's incapacitated. He's telling me what to say.
I don't even remember that. I have to ask Amber then what she said. Or maybe I'll look through. I don't delete my texts, so maybe it's still in there.
Dude, I mean, this is like at least 5 years ago.
Might be in there. I don't delete them.
Okay.
I don't remember that, Ryan. That's interesting. Maybe I was incapacitated. That's why I don't remember. We have
orgy advice?
My pick.
Oh.
Next week or whenever we record. All right. I have a pick. I'm just saying it's been a while since we've seen a movie that has pirates. I want to watch Treasure Planet. Watch Treasure Planet. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to watch it. I wanted to do a pirate season. I think it was one of my first pitches ever. And let's watch space pirates, dude. Let's have a little bit of fun, dude. Let's go on a little treasure hunt. Is our first animated movie
gonna be Treasure Planet?
We did. All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh yeah, and Clifford. Yeah, hard to get out of the dog season. Okay, is our first animated movie in 70 movies gonna be? That's a good movie.
Yeah,
that's a good movie.
It's been a long time, and I haven't seen this movie since it came out. So, folks, this one's for the kids. Not this one. Not this one.
Whoa.
The next one is for the kids.
As I recall, there's also an orgy in Treasure Planet.
Fortunately, if you watch the uncut Treasure Planet, there is a huge orgy. It's like
it's all in the
25
trailer.
minutes. Should we give advice to Tom Cruise to keep himself safe?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
To keep himself safe?
Okay.
Just advice that we should give him because he needs some advice. I think
stay
away
from
the
house.
Hold
escorts
that
clearly
don't
grow. Jace, you're edging us too hard right now.
Marijuana.
Okay. Let's just stop. He took all the suspense out.